After this tutorial, you know exactly how to save a game and how to load it again. Today I'll show you a simple save and load function for Godot. In the saving function, which I'll show you, it's resource based. That means you can store every kind of data, and it's also very compatible and easy to set up with Godot. Let's go. First of all, I just created like a very simple game where you can just change the color of this little guy, and later you can save it and load the data. And it will load the current color in this case. So what do we need? We need a method which calls the saving function. We need a method which is for loading, and we just need a data type which will store the data of the player. First we start to create here a new script which will inherit from resource. The name for this one we will say, for example, player data, and then we will say save. In this case I already created it, but you'll just click save, and then you will have like an empty resource GD script. So what we want to write, we will give this one a name, such as a class name, player data in my case. You can name it whatever you want, but be careful to always be consistent with this name in all over your codes. And what I want to store, you can store here every type of variables. I use it just for color. You can also say, like, for example, export variable player name in form of string, not strong, string, and so on. You can do it with whatever you want, but we will do it for this tutorial just only with a color. The next thing what we're gonna do is to create a function where we will call, where we will save the player data and where we'll load the player data. For this one, we will need a few variables. All of this I'll do in a global data file. What does it mean? A global data file is a file which I use to add functions and also add variables which will be callable from all over your game, no matter from which point. And when you start a game, for example, they are directly loaded beside your main scene. Like you can see here, global data. So every node from here has always access to this point. So this is very useful, and I show you simply how you can integrate it. Just create a script, and after you create the script, I name it global data. Go to project settings, globals, use this button and click on global data. In my case, node name global data add, and then this will be here, and be sure that enabled is true, and that's it. So in global data we need a few variables, so where we store the beginning and the end of the path. This we will do with two variables, export variable, and we called this one is current game name in form of a string, and we say current player data. This is the name of the file later on. And something else what I have is variable save file path, also in the form of a string equals, and we say a user this one slash save slash, that's it. And what we also need is a path to the player. This one I'll do very simple. Here the player is right here, so we'll just do it with an onReady variable. We say player equals sprite 2D in this case. Most of the time it will be a character body in your case, but in my case here it's just a sprite 2D equals, then the $sign and then the path. And as you can see here in local and remote, the path will be backwards one step because we have to go from here to the root into the world to the player. So what we're gonna do now is saying ./world/player, and that's it for this one. And now we need a function, a method, which will store the save game function. In this case, you can name it whatever you want. This is just there for save the game. What we're gonna do now, the first is create a new player data, which we call just player data equals, and then our created resource player data.new. So we'll create a new file, and then we say player. In my case, in player data, I have just export variable a color. So what we're gonna do is player data.color equals, and then we say player.modulate in my case. And then we say, that means we just take the color from the player from here to put it inside this player data variable, and then we'll just need to store it. And this we will do simply with resource saver dot save, and now we need a resource, a path, and flags. But in our case, we just need the resource and the path. The resource is the player data we just created, so we say player data. And the path will be this one plus dot trace. So we do save file path plus current game name plus .tres. And there's just a mistake. Oh, player data. And we need a load game function. Variable current player data is player data equals resource loader dot load. It's very similar to this one, just a bit different. So here we also say save file path plus current game name plus tras.tres. This is the file type, and we say player.modulate equals current player data.color. This is actually the same thing what we do here. Here we take the data from the player and put it inside the player data, and here we take it from the player data and put it inside to the player. Now we just need to make the save and load button works, which we just created here in our world scene. So we have, we'll just need to connect this button's pressed signal with the global data save and load function. This we'll do simply by just do this access, and access is unique name. That means we don't need to put the whole path to this button. We just can call it directly when we say %save.connect, and now we just, the name is pressed. This is the name of the signal. We'll connect with global data dot save how do I name it? Save game function. We have to say the exact same, and we also do the same for load %load.connect pressed global data.load game function. Okay, that this will work properly, this is something what I faced before. You have to get percent app data folder, which person app data percent, and then you will go to your Godot folder, which is right here, app user data, and then there's a folder which has the exact name of your Godot, like in my case tutorial. So we go to app user data tutorial, and then we have save. I just created this one, but be sure, because most of the time it's not existing, so you just have to new folder and create a new one, save. That's it. And when you start the game now, and we click on the red button and we click on save first, then we click on the green button and say load. Then it changed the color to red, then we can click anywhere here, say load again, and it comes back to red because we saved the data red in the save file. You can also start the game new, completely new, and we also say just load, and the color red is still stored inside our file. If the tutorial helps you, you can leave a like or a comment or subscribe the channel. I really appreciate it.